Hi, this is Naomi with Sword and Steel, and because of the great demand for paint with me videos, I'm back. And we're going to paint this new Tyranid from the Leviathan set, and I'm just gonna paint it in a very simple color scheme because I've got a lot of Tyranids to paint now, so I hope you enjoy it. The very simple color scheme is based on Tallasar blue and Aggaros dunes. These two colors are the main color scheme, and then a bit of black and reds, and I'm going to put a jungle base on him. So I hope you enjoy. And let's get started. My favorite brush to use for contrast paints is this Broken Toad 2 brush. I like the 2 size, or even 3 size, as long as it comes to a really nice point. And then I have, for my favorite detail brush, getting old, Warhammer Kalinsky Masterclass. And those are probably the 2 brushes that I'll use. I don't imagine I'll need to use anything else, actually. Now, this fellow is primed in Wraithbone, and then because I push fit him together rather than glued him together, this particular one, to see if I could, and I could, I also fixed him up with, I fixed away his mold lines with a bit, join lines with a bit of plastic putty that had been thinned down with water and contrast medium, so it flows better. And I like plastic putty because you can do that after you have him primed. I could have done it before he was primed because it goes on plastic as well, but I did it after these 10 of these guys. Got 10 of them at the moment because I only feel like painting 10 of them. After these guys have been primed with Wraithbone. Now the question is, will I do the blue first or the Aggaros dunes first? And I think I shall go with the Aggaros dunes. And yeah, just Aggaros dunes. I also have some contrast medium on hand in case I want to thin it out. And I have my contrast paints in dropper bottles. There's Aggaros dunes. All right, and I also have a good coverage white, robot white for his teeth, since I assume I'm going to get some Aggaros dune on his teeth at some point. And I also have this little Gemstone air red metallic for his eyes. Very straightforward color scheme because I don't want to spend that much time on him, actually. Shake your paints before you use them. And I don't use a wet palette for contrast paints. I could, but I don't. And since I'm mostly using contrast paints here, and my wet palette is around somewhere, I'm just using this piece of plastic. Recycling. Or reusing, whichever. And I'm going to attempt to not get it on any of the carapace, the plating, chitin plating, because that's what's going to go blue, but all the skin is going to go this Aggaros dunes as carefully as possible. And I just realized that I should absolutely have some Wraithbone around for if I make a mistake. Okay, this guy is actually a little bit too small for this particular brush, I think. I'm probably going to switch over to my littler one. Or I'll say I'll switch over to my little one and just be darn stubborn and not switch over to my little one. And don't mind getting too much on his little hooks, because his hooks are going to go black. I should definitely switch over to my smaller brush. And yet I think I want to do his tail with this bigger brush, because I want to do sweeping motions with lots of contrast paint at the same time. I'm not taking too long at it. Oh, I need Cygor brown for his hooves. Not worrying too much, but I do want to get all the little crevices filled up. All these little crevices, these little holes. And also not let it pool where I don't want it to pool. Always let it pool exactly how you want it to look when it's dry, because it'll probably pool a little bit heavier once it is dry. Put it a little bit over his hooves, just to make certain I get all the Aggaros dune in there. I should probably switch. For his hand. Maybe not. I better get his tail done, so there's not any awkward lines coming, because I don't want to spend... I don't want it to... Oop. I don't want it to dry until I'm done on his tail. Like, allow those nice ribs to fill, but make certain it's not too solid and on his tail. Is that a piece of sprue that I missed? Well, it's part of his tail now. I like contrast paints. I have recently used the Vallejo speed paints, the Army Painter Express paints, some paints that weren't Vallejo Express but felt kind of the same way, and I still really like my contrast paints. I'm not done with either of those ones. I'm sure they'll have their uses, particularly the Army Painter ones. But I still like my contrast ones. I imagine it has something to do with how accustomed I am to them, but still, I'm just partial to ones that work. I don't use ones that are more difficult to work with. Unless through the airbrush, because contrast paints through the airbrush are really nice. Particularly the bright, vibrant ones. If you want a big piece, like a Chaos Reaver Titan, just for an example, to come together from multiple different parts painted separately because of its size to a cohesive unit, you can use contrast paints through the airbrush to give it a tint that matches all of the other parts. How am I gonna get in there? Well, it's only supposed to be one color under there, so I guess it should be no problem. La da 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 da. When I can't think of something to say, I seem to just sing out. What is that song? I don't know what that song is. Kind of put all the mega arachnid is supposed to have. Get out of that. Do you see that? Do you see that? That is trying to pool and make a bubble. Got out of the backbone. Can go. The mega arachnid is supposed to have. All of this is supposed to be part of what it is, so it should be the same color. I guessed how much I would use on this one miniature really well. Except for his head. I need another draw. Aggaros. Okay, 2 draws. La 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 la. Whoops. It's alright. Tallasar blue is incredibly vibrant. So it is. I need to get that. Those little circles, nice and dark. Tallasar blue is incredibly vibrant, so it's probably not going to notice if I accidentally get Aggaros tunes on it, but I shouldn't. Just get it on there. I should make certain that I get some Wraithbone. It's around here somewhere to fix up any mistakes. Oh, there was one. Yeah, just using a damp brush to sweep the Aggaros dunes off this part right here. Am I showing you this all right? Maybe I should zoom in. Are you seeing this? Okay. Come closer. There we go. Now, get his little nick. Rinse off and get that off, just so it's not as strong. And get that off, just so I don't have to go find my Wraithbone. Where's my Wraithbone? It's probably nearby. Wraithbone, Wraithbone. Probably in my other area. All right. Do I have everything? That. Oh, missed a spot here. Did you know that painting while keeping a miniature under the camera, not my forte. Not my forte. So if I'm missing any spots and you see it and I don't, that would be the reason why. That's the reason why. Alright, I'm looking really close now. I'm missing stuff. Little brush, pick up that there. Oops. Okay. There he is. There he is. Now I have to wait for him to dry because I cannot put on Tallasar blue while he is not dry. But while I am waiting for it to dry, get off. I will go and get my, just throw my paintbrush around. And while I'm doing that, I'll go get, alright, Wraithbone. You hear that? That agitator in there? Army Painter agitators makes it such that instead of shaking your bottle for minutes, you can shake it for seconds. It's very nice. Very nice. And I put 2 of them in the thicker ones. I could put 2 in any of them really, but yeah. Oh, and Army Painter actually has completely redone all of their things to have 2 agitators, and everyone that did that was a considerable amount of work. Definitely tried to do better. It is nearly dry. Nearly dry. Didn't take very long, did it? Ah, darn it. Just remembered the other paint that I needed, which is Cygor Brown. Urgh. Okay. Boop. 1, 2, 3. That should do it. 3 drops to do it. And watch this, baby. Watch this. Which brush should I use? Maybe I'll go down 1. I have this Da Vinci 2 brush, which is actually smaller than... Doesn't come to as nice of a point. I'll go back to my broken toad. Okay, why do I like it so much? Because it's so thick right here, and then comes to such a beautiful point. No matter what paint I put in it, durability works for me too. Alright, let's do this. And this is one where I would prefer not to make a mistake. Would prefer not to make a mistake. So you hear me, Mr. Tyranid? Let's try 4. Okay, let's put it on with this brush and go to the other brush, definitely. We're gonna have to go down. We're going down to our little guy, and yes, I am going down to the itty bitty one. Ooh. I'm taking my hair out of it because I need precision. Oh, I put too much on the brush. Save it. Come on. Get away from the neck. Showing. Sorry, more speed. Alright, let's clean that out. And take. Stop making big bubbles. Take it away. I'll fix it. I'll fix it after. Alright, I think this one I'll more focus on getting one layer on and then doing probably a second layer just to make it more tidy. So one thinner layer and then a second layer more focused. Just so I'm not accidentally overdoing it. I did that there. No major pooling, thank you. No, thank you. Pooling where I want it to go. Nice and gently. We are nearly into summer. Well, for some people. My summer doesn't come until August. I've got to find a different song to hum in Christmas songs. Do 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 do. Forget about your worries and your strife. I guess I want a little bit more here. I can play with it in the second coat. I should stop playing with it. I should stop playing with it. Do 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 do. Bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum. Da 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 da. I got Wraithbone on hand for if I make a mistake and have to put Wraithbone down and redo it. Wherever that mistake happens to be. Wraithbone is very nice for covering up mistakes with one or two coats. Probably more for this particular Tallasar blue because it is so darn vibrant. But for a lot of the contrast paints, don't mind me, I'm just holding my breath. Oh good. I do still have it in the camera. You get to see the wonder of me doing this from over a foot away. Normally I'd be like, this would be nice. Yes, I can see it all clearly now. I am going to do these two little nubs on his tail while it's so close to me. Oh, I've gotten used to painting up here. Okay, I'm coming back. I got carried away painting up close. Just working on his little head. And fixing up little underbelly parts. All right, I gotta go get up close again. Just one little section here. I'm actually using one hand to steady the other hand. This is not an accident. Okay. Oh, shoot. Getting her done. Getting her done. I like to go from in to out for painting in most cases. So anything closer to the inside, I guess is how I'm gonna put it. And the skin closer to the inside than this chitinous plating. Carapace. Consider it a carapace. I'm just doing now the little under section, which I really need to be up close to see. This guy's just too little. But I'll show you what I did. You can see how close I am. You can see my hand is still being supported by my other hand. See? Come here. You can do it. There we go. Yeah, just get underneath there. Boom, boom, boom. Lovely, 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 lovely. Okay, I need to get into a very difficult spot in here. See if I can do it. Can you see that? I can't. Okay, I'm gonna go over here again. And this part right there. And that little tiny bit right there. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. I think we are gonna go. I was thinking, I was undecided about whether this part would go black or go with the blue, but yeah, we're gonna go with the Tallasar blue on this part right here. Smooth that out a bit and get the underside and move some. Doo-doo-doo. The heavens are sparkling, starlight tonight. Here we are. I think that's all. I think that's all the blue we're doing. Says my camera battery is gone. I have to go and get my other battery, which is alright, because that'll give him a little bit of time to dry. How's he looking? Pretty spiffy, isn't he? That's 2 colors. We'll just put the little hooves on. The only need we have for Cygor Brown is his little hooves. So that should be 1 drop. Boop. Cygor Brown. It is another Citadel color contrast paint. If you're unfamiliar with it, I just have it in a dropper bottle so that when I knock it over, I might lose a drop. And of course, I like using them through the airbrush. So, bonus. Now, Cygor Brown on his little hoof. Little hoof. I don't know why I got the big brush for this task. Lost my mind for a moment. Right. Just had to come up there for a second to check out where this ends. And where the Aggaros dune should begin. Did I get it all in one scoop? Yes. Good, 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 good. And the other one. Oh. What are you standing on? Just some rubble? Okay. It might look really dark on the screen, but you can see a nice warm brown in person. I think it's great. Now, I am going to do his claws, which will be, as long as this old fella is still functional, a gloss black. It might be hard to see because I picked it up a lot with messy hands from the airbrush. But I tell you, it's a gloss black. That was entirely too much for what I need it for. Maybe I'll go and do some of the other ones just to save some paint. Maybe. Just on his cute little claws. Shiny little claws. Boop doo. Make them vicious looking. Probably should have shaken it a little bit more. I will just have to put multiple coats on it. It's fine. I'm getting highlights without even planning on it. See that all right? What's that bump? What is that bump? Bump on my model. Right, there's that one, and then there's this little guy. And this little guy. Mm-hmm. 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 This little guy, and this little guy. Boop. Do 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 do. Let that dry. And his tongue. What shall I do with his tongue? Is this candy red or is this... No, this is just bright red. But bright red is actually a little bit glossy. Thin this out a little bit. Yeah, I'm just going to do a mix. I'm going to do just a random mix to get the color that I want. I'm doing 1 drop of bright red, which is super vibrant, from the Vallejo Premium, because it's right there. 1 drop of Sigvald Burgundy. Do you see how pretty that Burgundy is? And some Contrast Medium over to one side, because I want to see how intense that color is. I don't know. Experimenting. Experimenting. Do 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 do. So pretty. I'm just making Fleshtearers Red. Kind of Blood Angels Red. From scratch. So I don't have to go and get it. But you could just use Fleshtearers Red and Contrast Medium. Do do do. Do. Boop. What's up? What's up? What's up? Da, da, da. Da, da, da. I wonder if there's people who are not going to get that reference in the future. What's up? I can't stop saying it. It's probably because it's 3 o'clock in the morning when I decided to paint this. So I'm just getting delirious. There he is, which is probably why I'm going to go like, you know what? I could probably do his jungle base tomorrow. What's up? What's up? And do I even want to make his teeth more white? Yes, make his teeth more white. Cannot just leave it like that. Can't leave it like that. Clean, clean, clean. Right, I feel like I should just Wraithbone his teeth. And only slightly. A little wee bit of Wraithbone. Put it on the palette. Thin it out a bit with Contrast Medium. Flatten one side of my paintbrush to make it thinner. And just get his little, sweet little teeth. Not all of the tooth, just the outermost part. Just to make them different from the Aggaros doing. All right. Put a little more Wraithbone on the teeth set. Didn't quite go as bright. Oops. Now, there he is. Now we want his little eye. Gemstone. I chose the air gemstone because it's already the consistency that I want it to be for such a small object. And I haven't opened this in a while. Okay, we're good. I was wondering if there'd be a blockage at the top, but it's there. It's fine. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Just a tiny, shiny eye. I'm flattening my brush a little. Is that good? A little more. Flattening my brush. Okay. And just making the eye a little sparkly. No one is gonna see that sparkle except for me. No one's gonna know. But they've got sparkly little eyes. Sparkly red eyes. Alright. With the Wraithbone. With a little bit of contrast medium in it to thin it down. Make it more workable. Put it underneath the eye. Anywhere on the around the eye that you don't want the red to be. So on this side, it's looking like that. On that side, it's looking like that. And then we grab the Aggaros Dune. And because we want this to be the highlight of Aggaros Dune, we are going to thin it slightly with a bit of contrast medium so it doesn't change as much as probably should not have put that on that, but it's fine, I can grab it for it. Thin it with contrast medium so it's not as heavy as the first time we laid it down, and from shadow to edge. A little more. And there too. There we go. All right, now it's just time to do some highlighting. We could use some more Tallasar blue. We could use something more. So, really, we could stop there because it's a Termagant. And that is probably enough time spent on a wee Termagant. Or we can do a little more. Like these things right there. Those things right there, I don't actually want to bring much attention to them at all. So I'm going to go with the Aggaros Dunes as a blend. And then I'm going to add a touch of the Burgundy, Sigvald Burgundy, to it. And the Burgundy is strong. So when I say a touch, I mean a touch. Okay. And then add that into these recesses. And don't particularly want to miss. I don't actually want it to be too evident at all, just a slight difference. Okay. A little more in this one. Is that all of them? This one. Here we are, and alright, I don't think I'll be doing it for all of the ones, but since you get me right now, I will put a wee bit of highlight, a wee bit of shadowing. Feels like a wee bit of shadowing, I guess, to, not you. Combination. Tallasar and a purple. I'm going with Luxion purple. Not very much of it, so mostly Tallasar blue. Let's go 1 drop of Tallasar blue. Boop. And then dipping my tiny brush into Luxion purple. So this much Luxion purple to make it a little bit deeper for these shadows. And the shadows I want to, shadows I just want to emphasize. So here, 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 on his areas here. 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 Here, I guess. Here. Yeah, down there and down there, because it's all pointing downward. And in there, here. Give that more emphasis. Here, here, and here, and there, here, and here, there. And here, here, there. There. Stuff like that. Barely noticeable changes. But it just brings it out a little more. So the shading is more specific. All right. And I think I will just leave it there, do the base, and do the rest of them. Okay, now we have 5 of them done because I didn't feel like doing 10 of them, so I did 5 of them to start off with, which is a nice number. 5 of them done okay, I may have skipped a couple details that I'll get to in the future, but for now, I'm going to actually just pop them off their bases so that I can work on their bases. I didn't glue them to their bases, so I'm just going to take a file, just a file, anything that's smaller than the hole, and just pop them out. So the first thing to do is make a texture, so I'm using rough gray pumice from Vallejo because that kind of dries wet. I'm using a throwaway brush, I'm using Cygor brown, and a little bit of Sigvald Burgundy to make a ground texture. I'm not even going to mix it in very well because I kind of want an uneven colored ground texture. And I'm going to use this throwaway brush to add it to the bases. In a very I don't care how this goes down sort of fashion, but making certain that I get thick enough to attach the rocks and tufts and pebbles and such that I'm about to put on now. So what I first used was these larger rocks, which are called battlefield rocks by the army painter, and I just did strategic placement of them, and this is all while the ground is very wet because I'm using them as basically a glue to start off with, and then I arbitrarily put brown battleground across the bases and kind of mix it in a little bit. These are going to be colored with Seraphim Sepia, not only to color them a little bit deeper, but also to allow for the Seraphim Sepia to help attach it to the base. That's the big rocks, not really the little rocks, but the big rocks, as well as the pieces of plastic that are stones or skulls underneath the Tyranid's feet. That's all covered in Seraphim Sepia. And when that part was done, but still everything is still quite wet, I used Meadow Blend Flock from Gale Force 9 with tweezers and just plopped that on, kind of dusted it on, and as well as the Army Painter's Battlefield Grass Green. I kind of put it on and pushed it in before I switched to various grassy tufts like the strong green grass at 6mm and the dry thick grass at 12mm, only a little bit of that, and some dumb cane laser plants. All this is all by Gamer's Grass, these tufts, and attached them while the ground was still wet, but then also dropped on Athonian camo shade to help blend it in as well as seal it even further. And then when that had dried, I added a black trim and sealed everything even more, particularly the leaves, which have a bit of a gloss. I sealed it all with the anti-gloss matte varnish that you can just plop on by the Army Painter, and decided I was good there. That's as far as I want to go for these for the moment. Maybe I'll do something more with them, but I want to get them painted. All of them painted, there's 20 of them. All the Neurogons painted, all the Barbgons painted before I go any further than this. I'm satisfied. So I think that's it for me tonight. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will catch you in the next video, which next painting video will probably be the opponents of these guys, my Dark Angels. So I hope you enjoy that. Okay, good night, bye! Thank you very much to patrons and YouTube subscribers. I did this video for you, so I really hope you enjoyed it. And make certain you let me know. Remember, we have a patron Discord, so you should be active on there and chatting. Anyway, thanks. Wraithbone. Yes, my hair is that long. Ah. Aha. Probably time for a haircut. Thinking of going pink. Serious. I've been pink before. It's been a while. Thinking of going pink. Oh, wondrous watchers, you should... A pastel pink, actually. I think that'd be great fun. I've done bright pink and bright red, pale red, blonde. It's been so long. Pff, this long, I guess. Thinking of going pink. Alright, Wraithbone.